hit search, then it will get me my recommended songs that I have. Makes sense, right? So here you can see that recommendations I am getting up to 20 recommendations I have, and now on clicking them, it will open up the Spotify link for that particular music, and then we can play that.
Hey, what's up everyone, I'm Ishmakan and welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video, we'll be talking about how we can make our own music recommendation system using Python and Flutter. So with that being said, let's get started. So let's just see what do we have to do to make our music recommendation system using Flutter and Python. So let's just open up our notepad and see like how we can make it. First step, obviously we have to make a backend. So we have to make a music recommendation system backend. And this we will write in Python code. Then we have to make a screen. So we have to make a Flutter screen where we'll be having our music listings. So a playlist will be showing. So we'll make our front end UI with the help of Flutter. So first we'll make our backend, then we'll make our front end, and then we'll integrate both of these together. Makes sense. So if you want to jump around to a specific time frame, you can do that by using the timestamps below. So, all right. So first I'll move on with the music recommendation system. We'll open a PyCharm and then create our new project. So I'll go and create a new project and I'll name it as our music recommendation backend. Makes sense. Now I'll hit create and I'll open it in this window. Great. So we have our project ready. Now we have choices like for the backend API, what we have to do. We can either implement in Flask, Django, or FastAPI. So let's implement in FastAPI for this video. So here, what I'll be doing is first, let me go and in the Python packages and add FastAPI. All right, so I'll install that. Okay, it's installing, and it's done. Second, I'll add a UVCon. So UVCon is the server that we have to use that will help us running our FastAPI. Awesome. So from FastAPI, perfect. And then we'll make our app, and if main is equals to main, then we have to run that, and then I'll import our UVCon as well. UVCon.run app host port. So let me just add our app host and port will be default. Perfect. Then what I'll do is I'll make a test route to check if everything works or not. So this will be our test route, async def main request return status true, and we'll import a request as well. All right, let's try to run our app now. So I'll run the main app. I'll head over to our backend and we can see status is coming as true. That means our API is running perfectly fine. Now let's integrate our music recommendation system in Python. So I'll close this. I'll stop our backend. And here, what I'll be doing is I'll create another endpoint for us, and that will be a post endpoint. Now this will be our recommend endpoint. Recommend async def and then recommend. Now this time we'll be needing a few things. So what do we need? So we need, I'll create a model here. So this will be our recommendation scheme, which will take base model. And then here, so the recommendation scheme will be like, we'll be taking from the front end part. Here, I'll define our args and it will be of type recommendation scheme. Let's just first import base model from Pydantic. Alright, I'll format the code. And now from this args, we can access the name and the count. Perfect. So here we have to write the logic. So I'll create another file, new Python file, music recommender. Let's make a class, music recommender. And for now, let's just add pass. And what we'll be doing, from dot music recommender import music recommender. Okay, awesome. So now this music recommender we'll be using inside our recommend. So this will take args dot name comma args dot count, and then it will return us our recommendations. So recommendations, and then we will simply going to return our recommendations. So I'll be returning as data and then recommendations. Makes sense. Awesome. Now this is the data that we are getting here, and it will be of type music. Now what is music? So what I'll do, I'll remove this from here and I will create one model. So I'll go in Python file, models, and I'll paste this. I'll import from Pydantic again, and I'll create a class music. This will be a regular model, and let's just create from data class. So from data classes, import data class and data classes. So let's just add data class and yep. And then what we'll be needing, so every music will be storing some few things. So we'll be storing the music name as a string. We'll be storing the link, that will also be a string. We'll store artist string, and then we'll store the image link, and that will be a string as well. Like that, multiple things we can add here as well. Awesome. Code is formatted. Now this music model, let's just go back to our main.py. I'll import that, and I'll import our music model as well. This is not required anymore, so I'll remove. Perfect. Now let's just work on our music recommender, the main logic that we have to write. So def init, it will take two things, name, which will be of type string, and count, which will be of type integer. Then self dot name equals to name, and self dot count, you guessed it, is equals to count. Awesome. So this will be it. Now it will give us recommender, the object for the model, and yeah, recommend, and let's just call recommender. Yeah. All right, let's just call the recommender and then it will return back with some important data. Okay. So here inside the music recommender, I'll create a def call. We won't be taking any arguments, and then I'll return pass, and then we'll return list of music. Now let's import music as well. Makes sense. Now this recommender list of music is not subtype of type music. Okay, so here list of music. Great. So recommender will give us the list of music, and here we'll be returning that. Now how do we do? So basically now if you go to the R or browser, you search here music recommender PyPy. We have a library in Python for the music recommendation. So let's just download this library in our project. So I'll head over to Python packages and install package. If you don't have PyCharm, then you can head over to your terminal and then run pip install music recommender. That will also do the same thing. Awesome. So the package is installed. Let's just use this package now. So I'll copy this, I'll add that, and then recommender will initialize. So recommender as well, you have to initialize. Let's make it self.recommender. And then, so basically you can see this package has multiple genre, the track attributes, artists, multiple things, right? So based on that, we will be getting some data. So here what we will pass is things like genre, track attributes, artist. We'll pass all this stuff and then we'll get some tracks that we want. So this logic will come here, and this will be self.recommender, and this part will also come here, and everything will be self.recommender. Great. Now here, since the name, we can't pass the song name, right? But we can pass artist name. So here I'll pass self.name, and I'll change this name. So not name, yeah, artist name. And then some genres we can pass. So here let's just pass a list as well. All right. And then attributes. So I'll pass attributes, which will be of type dictionary. Let's add a comma. Great. All right. And I'll remove the count from here because count not needed. Awesome. So what it will do, it will take the artist name, genres and attributes, and then find the recommendations here. And here, how many tracks we are having. So let's print whatever data we have, right? And then I will return empty for now. Great. So this will work. Also, one more thing, in the recommender, we have to pass the client ID and the client secret from Spotify. So it will use Spotify API in the background. As you can see, it is a Spotify recommender. So we'll be using that. So let's just go in the dashboard for the developer. So I will go in the dashboard, and here inside the dashboard, I'll create a demo app that I have, which is right here, and I'll open up settings. And here you can see my client ID. I'll copy that client ID, and inside my env, so here I'll create one new file. So one new file dot env, and I will create my client ID, which will be equal to the value, and I'll create a client secret. So here you can pass your own API values. It is completely free of cost, right? So you can pass your data here. Once it is added, we need to load them. So we will be needing one more package, that is Python decouple. So this is one package, Python decouple, that we need to load from env. So I'll install this package as well. Okay. Okay, this one. And as you can see, we just need to import config. So from decouple, import config, and then config dot config client ID. Let's just pass client ID and config client secret. So it will fetch the ID and the secret from our env file. Great. So yep. All right. So this is done. Recommender is done. So in the main.py, it will ask now. Here in the music recommender, it's asking for the artist name, genre, and attribute. So let's do one thing. I'll control X this complete part, and we'll pass our scheme. So this recommendation scheme, I will take this out and I will paste all of this. Yep, makes sense. And then I will just pass our value. Let's just say its name is value. Okay. And yeah, value, which will be a recommender. So what's the model name? Recommendation scheme. Great. And then value dot, you can get all of the data. Awesome. So let's see if everything works or not. So I'll run it again, run main.py. Our backend is running successfully, and I'll open up Postman so we can see if it works or not. And here let's just pass post. So because our API is post and the endpoint is recommend, so I will copy this URL, I'll copy and paste it, and at the end I'll pass recommend. Perfect. And in the body will be raw JSON, and here we have to pass the same scheme, the recommendation scheme that we have. All right, so the artist is mandatory. Like if we want recommendations, we have to pass an artist. Awesome. So if we go back, you can see that artist name I passed as Johnny Cash, and inside my PyCharm I get the response. So these are the songs like Bobby Bears, Skill City, Nevada, Johnny Cash. Okay, so these are all the songs that the Spotify is recommending me. Great. So the API is working just fine. What I have to do now, I have to parse this with our recommendations. So here inside our music, let's just go to our music recommender, and let's create a variable result, and then I'll return result. And how many we have here? Result. We will just append. So I will copy one of these and head over to my JSON formatter and process it. And here you can see that we have some important stuff that we can see. So this is the complete Spotify API. So here you can see that we have URI, we have preview URL. So if I just go here, so it's a complete song that we can see here, and it's not complete, it is the preview song that we have. Great. Then what else we have? So popularity, the name of the song, everything works great. So let's just go back and result dot append. I'll append our music model, and our music model takes recommendation and from the name, because the name we want. Then what else? So it's a data class or name link. Now we will be needing a link as well. So let's see. Here we have our URI, and it's a href and it's of tracks. So let's open up. Oh, okay, so no API is provided, saying we have, okay, external URLs and then Spotify. Great. So let's go back, and here recommendation and pass external URLs, and then pass the Spotify. We'll get the external URL as well. External ID is there. Explicit also, if we want, we can store duration we can store that as well. And then what else here we will be needing? So in the music, we have our artist name. So artist name we can see in artists, and then get the first artist details. So here I'll copy this one and let's just paste it. So we will be needing artists, and let's take the first one and then the name. So 0 and then the name. Alright, let's format the code. So one more parameter is required, and that is the image link. So we want a link as well of the image. So let's minimize this, and here we have our album. You can see href, and inside the album we will be having image. So recommendation album 0 images. So album, okay, so album is not a array, so album images, and then let's just take the first one, and from the first one we will take the URL. All right, works. I'll format the code. Okay, so we'll be getting the recommendation and we'll return back. I'll stop and run it once again. So run main, our backend is running. I'll send, and you can see that we are getting our recommendations based on the genre, based on the attributes that we are passing, and based on the artist name. For example, I'll pass Taylor Swift. I'll be getting different songs. I'm getting Mercy from Shawn Mendes. So I'm getting all these songs, and based on that information also I am getting like the image link. So if I go, I can see whatever image link we have, right? So poster you can see. So this also works really well. So as you can see, the API is working just fine. So now let's head over to the Flutter application and let's build our front end part. So for that, I'll open up my Android Studio and here Flutter, let's click next and let's go and create a new project. So for that, let's name it as music recommender. And then let's click create. It will create that for us. Let's just wait. And yeah. Now I'll open up my emulator. All right. Running device. Perfect. Let's remove all of the boilerplate code that we have. Remove this class. Okay, let's just first run the app to see if it works, right? So the app will run. In the meanwhile, what I will do, I'll create a folder for models.
So hey guys, so basically the video got stuck in between on the Flutter part and I have to reshoot it now. So let's just run the app and let me show you what I made in the Flutter part. So the app is building and yeah, there we go. So this is the app that I have made in the video, and let's run the backend as well. So what I will do is I will open up the PyCharm and run the backend. So I'll run the backend here. As you can see, the backend is running now. And now let's head over to any artist name. So here artist name we can pass, and then genres we can pass anything. So for example, if I enter Taylor Swift and then acoustic, I can select any other like children, chill, hit search, then it will get me my recommended songs that I have. Makes sense, right? So here you can see that recommendations I am getting up to 20 recommendations I have, and now on clicking them, it will open up the Spotify link for that particular music and then we can play that. So this is the app and I'll show you the source code as well. So inside our lib folder, I have main.dart. So inside that, we are just opening our music recommendation screen. Then we have constants.dart and inside that we have a list of genres that we have here, acoustic, alphabet, whatever. So here we have a list. Then inside the models, we have our music model. This is the music model that we have same in the backend as well. So if we go in the models.py, this is the music model data class. Same we have inside the Flutter as well. Name, link, artist, image. So each music will have the name, a link, artist and the image of the music. So this is the information. And in the views we have one screen, that is music recommendation screen. There we have the music recommendation screen, as you can see, right? So here we have one genres. So how many we have selected, those genres I will store inside those variables. Then we have artist controller and then is searched as false. All right, and then music list we have. So this list will be populated from our API. So if you go here, right, on searching, so I have my text field right here. So after clicking the search button, we are calling our music recommender.search API and then storing that in our music list and then calling the set state so that list will be rebuilt, right? So here inside our build method, we have a scaffold and a column, and basically we have a sized box of 36 in the beginning, and then I have a text, find your best music, then the sized box, Then we have made our text field with the border radius and background color we have passed, and in the text field we simply have a basic text field here inside the row with icon button as well, right? So this is the icon button, and on clicking that we are calling our music recommender class that I will show in just a moment. What do we have here? And then calling the search method. There we are passing the artist name and the genres that the user has selected. Great. Once we have that, then we are also showing the chips choice. So this is coming from the package. So if you go to the PubSpec YAML, I have added these packages: HTTP for the API calling, chips choice for these chips that we have, and the URL launcher as well to open the Spotify link in the application. Makes sense. So on changing, I am just appending that value inside our selected genres, right? And then after that, if the music list is not empty, then list we are showing with the music list style widget. So this is a widget that I made inside widgets folder. So here we are showing the index. So this is the index, image link, and then music name and artist with the icon button in the end. So nothing will happen on clicking that. Main is the music recommender where we are doing our integration with the backend. So here I am calling the API recommend path. So here in the backend, as we have saw earlier as well, that our endpoint is for the recommend. So I am calling that. Here our API is launched in local host 8000 port, but for the emulator we need to access that using 10.0.2.2, and then the port will be exactly same. So for the emulator, the local host of your system will represent as 10.0.2.2. Makes sense. Then in the body, we need to pass artist name, genres, and the attributes I am passing empty for now. So here, as we know, because inside our models, recommendation scheme accepts the artist name, genre, and the attributes. These three fields we need to pass. I am passing these values, and then I am getting recommendations from the backend. And then we have to parse those using our music model and then return it back to our front end. So this is the integration part.
So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, then make sure to like it, subscribe my channel, and then comment if you have any doubt or any suggestion for my future video as well. With that all being said, I'm Ishmael. Peace out.